How's everybody doing today? It is the Keenest Fox here, and this is my channel where I like to talk about anime, videos, and cartoons. And today I'll be talking about the recent death battle, Sonic vs. Flash. There will be major spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched the video yet, I advise you to go check it out now. But if you don't mind, then stay tuned. Being a Sonic fan, I obviously rooted for Sonic, but knowing Death Battle for their bias for DC Comics, I wasn't surprised they would let Flash win. They do tend to lowball Sonic characters, like ignoring feats and legit claims he's faster than light or how powerful he is. Before I discuss some cons, I'll talk about some pros first. I've been a fan of Death Battle since I was in middle school, and I enjoy watching their videos for entertainment and to join in on the interesting conversation. I kind of stopped taking their research and analysis less seriously because they'll leave out information or pull out ridiculous measurements to scale characters, but for the video, we get to see a long-awaited battle and get to use and some dope-ass animation. And honestly, I didn't think they would ever really use Archie Sonic in a death battle, so that was a plus. I also have to give them credit that they did include some feats like the water ball scan, but I want to voice my opinion since this is like the third L in a row that the Sonic series has unjustly taken. I'll use the claims from an episode and the Q&A. First point I wanted to make is that Flash can phase Sonic's organs out like what he did against Amazo, stated by Leon Swan, the writer of Death Battle, and in the Q&A. This wouldn't work because Sonic also has the ability to vibrate his molecules in various versions, including Archie. Not to mention the scan he has been referring to is from a non-canon comic called Justice League Nail, and this was done by Barry Allen. Barry Allen, the second Flash's vibrations allows him to pass through solid objects. However, for Wally, it works differently. When he passes through something like a tree, it explodes. Another example of this is when Wally tried to destroy the Anti-Monitor's weapon. It backfired for him since his vibrations was more potent. Not to mention, the Amazo Barry fought probably wasn't as strong as the post-crisis one. Another speculation I have a problem with is the claim Sonic was teleported across the universe. I completely disagree with this reason, because in the podcast, Ben Singer, Wiz, expressed his doubts about Sonic surviving for some reason, when it's not completely far-fetched, since Sonic and Shadow have both survived neck-breaking heights in the games and anime from outer space. Then he tries to stretch this out by saying Sonic had snow attached to him. If snow was teleported, the entire pile of snow would have been covering him. Not to mention GROOVY K2000, a Sonic YouTuber who did his own debunk video on this, says it was smoke, being the same color palette. If you read the comic, you can see Sonic actually falling in that very crater. Also, Wiz mentioned he owns the Sonic Encyclopedia book he showed in this podcast, which actually states he was flung across the universe, not teleported. I also believe that Sonic getting knocked out by a barbell from Knack the Weasel was a little bit of a lowball on Death Battle's part, especially when he's taken far much more worse hits, like getting hit by a wrecking ball, being thrown by Bunny Rabbit, or taking a hit from the Iron King's mace, which can shake the literal earth. That's like me saying Flash, who's protected by the Speed Force, can still get knocked out by Catwoman, or how Silver Age Barry got knocked out by a piece of paper. I don't truly believe this, because he's fought Superman-level enemies like Zoom or Mongol, but Sonic getting taken out like this is just PIS plot, because Knack and Eggman were capturing and roboticizing him, and this is when the Power Ring aura was just given to him. Then there's the main controversy I have about Death Battle downplaying Supersonic. Usually when I see them include Supersonic or Super Shadow, the forms don't last in their battles. But when you see Supersonic's victories over creatures like Solaris or Dark Gaia, the fight itself tends to drag out. Also, Archie Comics' variation doesn't have a specific time limit. As shown, it lasts for hours. But in the podcast, they try to double down on this by comparing the Chaos Emeralds to the Anarchy Barrel. The Anarchy Barrel comes from Scourge's world being the polar opposite of the Emeralds. But just like the Soul Emeralds and the Rare Chaos Emeralds, the drawbacks varies. Another thing that annoyed me that Death Battle said Flash can beat Supersonic with the time travel. It's the same reason they used Hal Jordan beating Alien X, when they can basically do the same thing. Genesis Wave aside, Chaos Emeralds does give the user the ability to time travel like in Sonic 06, which at one point did happen in the comics. Flash is fast enough to time travel, but so is Sonic in its space form. It's mentioned in the 25-year later story arc that some of Sonic's fastest moments were destroying the universe on a subatomic level, and he was also able to vibrate his molecules through a time barrier when he was outside of time itself, as if it was moving backwards. Even as Ultrasonic, he was fast enough to move the entire Earth forward, saving the fabric of reality. And then there's my last point, why Flash can't beat Supersonic. Deathbattle mentioned Flash can continue speed stealing, but they left out its drawbacks and limits, like how Flash can only steal speed from kinetic energy, but nothing that's relative to time, like how he can't speed steal from Zoom, who can speed up time, just like how Shadow was using Chaos Control to warp through space in Sonic Adventures 2. With a Chaos Emerald or a Supersonic, he should be able to do it as well. The Chaos Emeralds have a limited energy. A single emerald has the power to destroy the universe. Supersonic defeated Interjack, who has the power of 11 Chaos Emeralds, which should automatically make him multiverse level. Deathbattle is also mentioned in their podcast that Mammoth Mogul could destroy millions of zones and that Sonic was helpless to stop him as Master Mogul. Of course, Base Sonic wouldn't be able to fight him in that state, but as Supersonic, him, Hyper Knuckles, and Tails defeated him prior. Not to mention he received these powers from Interjack after absorbing him with the Sword of Acorns. Supersonic and Hyper Knuckles did in fact destroy a zone once upon a time, but again, Deathbattle read this off to be a pocket dimension, not a universe. But if you read the comic, it states it's similar to the special zones in the games, which does in fact have planets and stars. Also, Reboot Supersonic does scale to multiverse level, along with Mega Man for defeating Sigma, who was absorbing other worlds with the Master Engines. Even with Speed Steal, Flash still can't beat Amazo or Anti-Monitor, who's cosmic level threats. So I don't think he has much of a chance against Supersonic. But that's all I wanted to clear up with the misconceptions of Deathbattle. Part of me is doing this for views, but mainly other people will start to buy into this results. I'm obviously a big Sonic fan, but Wally West is my favorite Flash. Not because of what he can do, but how he's been a part of my cartoons I grew up with. But Sonic should have won this fight, but that's probably just me. Let me know what you think.